For over a decade, Danny the Count Koker was a constant presence on TV. Sunglasses on, bandana tied tight, in that signature grin as he hunted down forgotten cars and turned them into jaw-dropping masterpieces. On Counting Cars, he wasn't just restoring vehicles. He was building legends. But recently, something strange happened. The episode stopped, the updates slowed, and the man who once ruled the Vegas car scene on screen seemed to vanish from TV altogether. Almost overnight, rumors exploded online. Was Count's Customs in trouble? Did a fire wipe out the shop? Why did Danny suddenly sell his legendary rock club after more than 16 years? Some fans claimed to have the answers. Others swore the truth was being kept under wraps. The real story? It's a mix of surprising facts, wild speculation, and a few changes that even Danny's most loyal followers didn't see coming. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happened to the Count and why his next chapter might just be his boldest yet. If you've been picturing Count's Customs as an abandoned garage collecting dust, think again. In Las Vegas, the engines are still rumbling, the paint guns are still spraying, and Danny the Count Koker is still walking the floor with that same signature swagger. The shop hasn't gone anywhere. In fact, it's as alive as ever. Without TV cameras following every move, Danny and his crew have been free to focus completely on their craft. Fans who've visited recently say the builds are even sharper than during the show's peak. Intricate paintwork, flawless restorations, and outrageous customizations that look like they rolled out of a dream. Every car still passes under Danny's watchful eye before it leaves, and he's known to point out the smallest details only a true gearhead would notice. Count's Customs is also still a destination for fans from across the globe. Tourists swing by for shop tours, selfies under the iconic sign, and a browse through the merch room. And if you're lucky, you might bump into the Count himself. He's known for stopping to chat, take photos, and swap stories about his favorite builds. That personal connection is part of why the shop's momentum hasn't slowed since the show's pause. It's more than just a business. It's a living piece of the car culture Danny helped put on the map. Visitors leave not just with souvenirs, but with stories they can tell for years. The day they met the Count, the smell of fresh paint in the air, the sight of a '69 Camaro gleaming under the lights. So let's set the record straight. Count's Customs isn't closed, struggling, or fading into the background. It's thriving. Quietly maybe, compared to its TV days, but still producing the kind of custom rides that built its reputation in the first place. But that begs the question, if the shop is going strong, why did the cameras stop rolling? For 8 seasons, Counting Cars was one of the History Channel's most reliable hits. It had everything, rare finds, wild custom builds, and a host who lived and breathed the culture. Fans tuned in, not just for the cars, but for Danny's charisma and the crew's chemistry. Then, the episode stopped. No farewell season, no grand finale, just silence. For viewers who were used to their regular fix of the Count, it felt like the show had vanished overnight. Naturally, the internet lit up with questions. Was it canceled? Did something happen between Danny and the network? Here's the strange part. Counting Cars was never officially canceled. No press release, no thank you for watching, nothing. The show simply went into a quiet pause. In the TV world, that's unusual, but it also means the door isn't shut. Sometimes networks take a break to renegotiate contracts, shift priorities, or wait for the right timing. Other History Channel staples have gone through similar pauses before returning. For now, reruns are keeping the show alive, introducing new fans to the shop and reminding old ones why they loved it in the first place. Social media still buzzes with clips, memes, and highlight reels. Petitions pop up every now and then asking the network to bring it back. And the comment sections under old videos are filled with people asking when they'll see new episodes. As for Danny, he hasn't closed the door either. In interviews, he drops the occasional, "You never know what's down the road," keeping things mysterious. And that's very on brand for the Count, never giving too much away, letting curiosity build. Still, the fact remains, the cameras are off, the crew is focused entirely on the real-life shop, and fans are left waiting for the day the History Channel announces a green light. But just when people were starting to settle into the idea of a long hiatus, Danny made a move that caught everyone off guard. And it had nothing to do with cars. Before Counting Cars made him a household name, Danny the Count Koker had another passion project, music. In 2009, he opened Count's Vamped Bar and Grill in Las Vegas, a gritty, rock-focused club that became a haven for live music lovers in a city dominated by polished casino acts. It wasn't your typical Vegas venue. The walls were covered in rock memorabilia, the lighting was low and moody, and the sound system was tuned to make guitars scream. Touring bands played shoulder to shoulder with local talent, and Danny himself could often be found in the crowd, or on stage with his band, Count 77. Over 16 years, Vamped built a loyal following, becoming a must-visit spot for anyone craving raw, unfiltered rock and roll. That's why what happened in June 2025 shocked fans. Out of nowhere, Danny announced he was selling the club. The final show took place on June 28th, and it was everything you'd expect from Vamped. Loud, sweaty, and packed wall to wall. Longtime fans sang along to every word, strangers became friends in the crowd, and the energy was pure electricity. Danny explained his decision as a new chapter. Running a live music venue is a full-time grind, and after 16 years, it was time to shift focus. Selling Vamp didn't mean walking away from music, just from the daily responsibilities of owning a club. He left the door open for future music projects, hinting that this was more of a pivot than a retirement from the scene. Still, for the Vegas rock community, the closure marked the end of an era. And with Counting Cars on pause and now Vamped closing, fans began to wonder, was the Count slowly stepping out of the spotlight? Those questions only grew louder when a new and completely unverified rumor began spreading online, one that made people think Danny's empire was in serious trouble. In late 2024, a strange rumor started spreading online. Count's Kustoms had been destroyed in a fire. The claim came with grainy photos of a burning building and captions implying the worst. No official source, no credible news coverage, just a few viral posts. But in the world of social media, that's all it takes. The timing made it believable. The show was on pause, the rock club had just closed, and people were already wondering what was next for Danny. A story about the shop being gone fit neatly into that narrative. Within days, Facebook threads, TikTok videos, and YouTube update clips were spreading the rumor like it was fact. The truth? It was pure fiction. Count's Kustoms never burned down, never closed, and never even had so much as a major incident. The photos weren't from Las Vegas at all. They were from a fire at a completely unrelated building in another state. Whoever posted them had either made a mistake or was chasing clicks. When the rumors reached Danny, he didn't waste time with long statements. Instead, he let the shop's work speak for itself. Within a week, Count's Kustoms was posting fresh photos of finished bills, customer deliveries, and even fan selfies taken that same week. It was the perfect counter to the fake story. Proof, not words. Ironically, the false fire rumor ended up bringing more attention to the shop. Fans who hadn't visited in years stopped just to make sure it was still there. The viral buzz, while frustrating, turned into a reminder that Count's Kustoms was still very much alive. Still, the whole thing was a lesson in how fast misinformation spreads, and how easily a single rumor can shape public perception. Danny's been in the public eye long enough to know you can't control every story, but you can control your response. In this case, he handled it the way a seasoned showman does, calm, confident, and focused on the work. And while the internet was busy imagining the end, Danny was already looking toward the future, one that might hold some of his most ambitious projects yet. If there's one thing Danny the Count Koker has proven, it's that he never stays parked for long. Even with Counting Cars on pause and Vamped sold, he's not slowing down. He's just changing lanes. Over the past year, Danny's been hinting at big things coming. No specifics, but enough to get fans speculating. Some think he's planning a brand new car show, possibly with a format that blends his garage work with his love for music. Others believe he's exploring streaming platforms like Netflix or Amazon Prime, where he could have more creative freedom than traditional TV. There's also the possibility of expanding Count's Kustoms beyond Vegas, maybe opening satellite locations, launching a custom parts line, or collaborating with other builders on special projects. And then there's music. Selling Vamped may have freed up time for Danny to focus on Count 77, writing new material, recording, or even hitting the road for a tour. What makes all of this believable is Danny's track record. He's built entire businesses from passion projects, turning both cars and rock and roll into empires. And he's done it without losing his signature style. Every time you think you know what he's going to do, he surprises you. There's also the fan factor. Danny has one of the most loyal audiences in the custom car scene. People don't just watch Counting Cars, they visit the shop, buy the merch, and follow his updates closely. That means when he's ready to announce his next project, he won't be starting from scratch. He'll be launching it to an audience that's already eager to see what's next. Whether it's a TV return, a new business venture, or something completely unexpected, the Count has the resources, the reputation, and the fan base to make it a hit. His career has always been about more than just cars. It's about passion, personality, and keeping people guessing. And if history's any guide, when Danny finally makes his next move, it won't be small, it'll be loud, fast, and impossible to ignore. So what really happened to Danny the Count Koker? No disappearance, no disaster. Just a man shifting gears. Count's Kustoms is still thriving in Las Vegas. Counting cars may be on pause, but it's not gone. Vamped has closed, but only so Danny can focus on what's next. And those wildfire rumors? Nothing but smoke. Danny's never been the type to coast. Every big move he's made, from TV to music to custom builds, has been about pushing forward. Right now, he's behind the scenes, setting up his next chapter. And if his past is any indication, it's going to be big. Because when the Count makes a comeback, he doesn't just show up. He roars back onto the scene. And when that day comes, you'll want to be there for the first rev of the engine. If you're into stories like this and want the real updates, not the rumors, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one.